Aloha, beautiful soul. Welcome to A Better World with Adrienne, the podcast. I am Adrienne. I am your host. I am your guide. I am ready for this transmission. So, this is a portal to activate your leadership, to activate your soul, to activate your way of being, the choices you make, the actions you take, all in the service of birthing your dreams that light up your soul, that bring you true joy, true happiness, true purpose. And guess what? That very thing is the very thing that only you can create in your unique essence as a very, very important part of a better world. So, just like all of our other episodes, this episode is in service of this. So, arrive in the space. Welcome home. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited to dive into a channeled framework with you today. So, I love frameworks because they give the mind a place to land, they give you a plan. And if you've been in my work, if you've been in 3D Moves, my signature program, if you came to Calendar Command, like some of my most potent medicine is helping mystics and spiritual beings anchor into the 3D and make things real. And a lot of this has to do with systems and frameworks. So I'm really, really excited. This is very tactical. This is very granular. And today I am teaching on the circle of conscious change. So this is a very simple framework that can and will change your life when you implement it daily and you just use it as something to hang your hat on. I love that phrase. You can just hang your hat on it, right? Like it's a traction point in a world that's chaotic, that's constantly moving, and it's a traction point for you to fully land in your human life, to fully be in true sovereignty that, yes, you are a spiritual creator in the 3D plane. Yes, you are fully committed to your human life. Yes, you can change your results any day, at any time, in any moment. How? The circle of conscious change. Woo, baby. So, as we do here at A Better World with Adrienne, this is a podcast that is a transmission. This is an offering. This is an altar. And so let us call upon the altar. The altar is setting the stage for spirit to move through me so it can move through you and move all of us into a new elevated way of living and being that directly creates a world we're proud of. So the altar is full of magic today. The altar is full of magic. I have an unscented white candle burning, purifying the space, calling in our healed ancestors, healed guides, Archangel Michael, the divine white light. I have all of my blue agate crystals highlighting my throat chakra, highlighting your throat chakra for truth and listening. Knowing that the throat chakra is speaking truth, but first hearing and listening to truth. On the altar, I have white roses. White roses, simple. They are simple. They are fresh. They are a new beginning, reminding us of the simplicity that life gets to be. I have on the altar a lot of metallic gold. I have a gold Ganesha. I have citrine crystals, really bringing forward Leo energy, the inner leader, the lion, the lioness, the king, the queen that lives within you to shine your light. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. May this be for the highest timeline and good of all. May I be a channel for something greater than me. May this land in such a way that it can change everyone's life and click us into the next iteration of our divine assignment. Mahalo, 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 mahalo nui, which means great thanks in Hawaiian. And now to connect our mind, body, and spirit, we will take 3 deep breaths together. So feeling your feet on Mother Earth or on the bottom of your car or in your shoes, whether you're walking, dancing, sitting with a cup of tea. Inhale through your nose. Feel the divine white light cover your whole body. Exhale out the mouth. Lean into the safety that lives here. Inhale through your nose. Feeling your root chakra connect to Mother Earth. Grounding. Red clay. Knowing it is safe to be still. Exhale out the mouth. And this time, inhale through your nose, the last one. Holding at the top, suspended in time. Bring an intention to this space. What energy are you bringing? What do you desire to learn? Are you open? Are you excited? Are you playful? Are you reverent? Are you generous? Are you raw? Keep holding at the top. Feel a sparkle in front of your third eye, knowing that your dreams are possible and intention matters. Exhale out the mouth. Shake out your body. Gently open your eyes. Come back to this day, this time, and let's unlock this transmission. The altar is set. We are connected with life force. Now we dive in. The circle of conscious change. So this is a simple framework that actually came to me when I was hiking Haleakala solo about 3 weeks ago. And I know I've been talking about this a lot on the podcast. If you haven't heard, I'm obsessed with solo hikes right now. And I've been hiking the crater Haleakala, which is the volcano here on Maui. And I've just been viscerally called up there. I've had a lot of interactions with star beings. And, Haleakala means house of the sun. So I've been going up there for major light code activations. It's literally at 10,000 feet. So it's something really cool about Maui is like, I can go down to the ocean and be at sea level and then literally drive for 1 hour and be at 10,000 feet. It's cray town in the best way. I was given this framework and it came through very joyfully, very playfully, and it has everything to do with Rice Krispies. And you may be wondering, okay, what are Rice Krispies? What does that have to do with anything here? So I'm a Leo sun in my astrology. I have my sun is conjunct Jupiter in the 5th house. And it's very, very powerful inner child energy. And so Rice Krispies, if you ever ate cereal, I don't eat cereal anymore, but as a kid, I used to eat Rice Krispies, the Kellogg's cereal, like breakfast cereal. So I don't know how much people eat breakfast cereal around the world. This is like a major American thing. And it's like so interesting because everything I know now is just like as a shaman and a healer and, being very versed in inflammation, eating super clean and healthy it's literally inflammation in a bowl. Cereal is. It's like wheat, sugar, and dairy, and all of the all of the food dye to make it look colorful. I digress. So this comes by way of Rice Krispies. And I was, on this hike, and I just got this download. And it was like, it's all about that snap, crackle, pop, though. It's all about that snap, crackle, pop. And so the tagline, the marketing for Rice Krispies cereal was snap, crackle, pop, because what happens is you pour the cereal in a bowl and then you pour milk over it and it starts snapping and crackling and popping and making all these sounds. So it was like this fun, joyful thing that Rice Krispies do. So I got this download, and then immediately my projector mind, which if you don't know human design, I am a projector in human design, which means I'm here to guide. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to guide energy for efficiency, AKA frameworks. So the circle of conscious change. This is the circle of conscious change. It's a 3-part circle. And let's come to the intention of conscious change and how that ties into a better world. So we all are here because we believe in a better world, and we believe in being part of it. And part of that means we are creating conscious change. What does that mean? We're making change on purpose. And so something that I say a lot again and again and again and again is that destiny is deliberate. Success is premeditated. Nobody stumbles upon a dream. Nobody stumbles upon success. It's on purpose. It's on purpose. And so when we acknowledge that, yes, we are purposefully, deliberately creating positive change on the planet. Okay. Change means things are different. All right. And I really want to deepen this an octave deeper, is that change is also another way to say the unknown, because if something's changing, it's different than the known. And part of my medicine that I work with my clients so deeply on, whether you're in my membership, New Earth Temple, or you're all the way up to a one-on-one client, or in any of my programs, I incorporate breath work into everything, because change is tied to the nervous system. Our nervous system and our body and the subconscious mind equates change with danger. And so that's why people self-sabotage. That's why people don't do what they say they were going to do. That's why, people don't create massive change as often as they would like, because, there's fear in the nervous system. So I just want to highlight, like, change is the unknown, and the unknown is actually the safest thing ever. When we stay in our comfort zone, when we stay in the known, we are actually choosing to recreate the past, which is like the most horrifying realization and the most empowering one at the same time. So I just want to really deepen and anchor into that. This is the circle of conscious change. And why is it a circle? Because it's never ending. It's a circle. It's like a wheel of life. It's like Wheel of Fortune in the tarot. That means a big change in cycle, right? So this is the circle of conscious change. Are you ready to rock and roll on each of these? It's a 3-part circle. It's all about that snap, crackle, pop, baby. Okay. So the thing about a circle is when it gets to the end, it starts over. It's a circle. And you come down to, just very core, like OG Disney, which, by the way, if you ever want to be inspired with someone who was innovating way in advance of their time, is Walt Disney. He said, dream it and do it. And he literally failed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times before a random drawing of a mouse took off. And it's what we know as Mickey Mouse today. It's like, literally, what the fuck? So I love that as just an example. But, when we come back to this idea of a circle, it's the circle of life, and it moves us all through despair and hope. Name that song. Circle of Life from The Lion King. All right. And so the circle of conscious change is what will give us life again and again and again and again as we move forward in building a better world, in architecting new earth, especially as leaders. Okay, so here it is. I'm gonna break it down for you. I'm gonna make it so easy for you to digest and metabolize and then just move and implement in your life. Okay, so it's all about that snap, crackle, pop. So first, snap. First part in the circle of conscious change is snap. Okay. So it's when something snaps. There are two circumstances in which change is actually made. Change is actually chosen. It's when things get good enough, where you want to go gets good enough, or where you currently are gets bad enough. And for most of my life, things had to get really, really, really bad for me to actually make a deep change. And, the more I evolve and the more I grow and the more I heal, it's more of the time, I'm just boldly leaping toward what I love. However, a lot of people, when they're first starting out, they're not even boldly, they're just like out of necessity, and desperation, moving away from like a very deeply painful experience they're unhappy with. Anyways, there's a snap. The first step in the circle of conscious change is snap. Something snaps. Something snaps within you where you're like, enough is enough. Like this must change. It's either a snap of awareness, it's a snap of an event. It's just something inside you snaps, and it snaps you awake, and it snaps you into action. It snaps. Okay. And what is a snap? It's something that breaks. It's something that shatters. Like I think about like snap peas. My grandma used to snap some peas. She's like, I'm going to snap some peas. And then I would get enrolled in like, okay, you got to snap these peas. And what does that mean? You break off the end before you cook it. All right. And that's so crazy that that's playing into this metaphor and this circle and framework so deeply, is like something somewhere must snap for the circle of conscious change to occur. So, sometimes things snap in life and they are not up to us. Like, for example, I use this example a lot because everyone can relate to it, is COVID. COVID was outside everyone's control, right? However, it snapped us. It snapped us awake. It snapped us into action. It was so jarring, And so it doesn't need to be this violent thing, but there's some point at the circle of conscious change at the beginning where something snaps. It snaps you into a new awareness. It snaps you into action. It snaps you into enough is enough. I must move. Okay. And it's very immediate and it's very visceral. Okay. So as I'm teaching this framework, I want you to really be in relationship with this question: is how does this apply to my life right here, right now, today? I want you to zero in on a challenge or something that you've been working toward in terms of conscious change. Because remember, change just doesn't come and knock on your doorway. I mean, sometimes it does. That's more of like a kick in the ass, I would say. But when you're consciously changing, when you're on purpose changing from a lens of love and expansion and unconditional worthiness as a child of the stars, as a child of spirit, it's this framework. So have you snapped yet? Have you snapped? What does snapping mean to you in this current challenge, in this current circumstance? Like I can think of very key moments in my life that were a snap. Like one example is, okay, when I was in Croatia in 2019 and I was healing after my breakup, and I had, won a job in the US Navy playing my French horn full time, and got, it was divine intervention. I didn't end up taking that job. And I was just in this whole seat of like, literally, who the fuck am I? Who am I? Who am I now that I have won my dream job at 27? And I realized that's not the thing. Who am I now that I'm not going to marry this person I thought I was going to marry? It was just like this whole who am I thing, right? And so I'm sitting in Croatia. I'm sitting on the Adriatic Sea. And I had this huge snap. And it was a snap of flashes of me remembering how happy and connected to water I was when I was a little girl. It was this deep, visceral, undeniable awareness that I was like, oh my God, how have I been living disconnected from the water? How? Oh my God, I will never allow this ever again. I snapped. Okay. And so, some people are like, they snapped. And sometimes that can be like if people have a temper, they're like, okay, they just snapped. Like, I don't want to be around them. And, I think all of us have been either the person that snaps in a temper or been around someone who snaps in a temper, but that's not really what I'm talking about. Although anger could be part of it, that could be part of it. Like other moments in my life where I snapped, where it was like, I was like so deeply annoyed with my own inaction and my own lack of taking responsibility for my life that I snapped, and I snapped into action. So what does that mean for you? This is an initiation. The snap is literally the initiation point of the change, because up until you snap, it's like you're not actually going to change. You're going to say you want to change. You're going to, hem and haw. You're going to pretend. You're going to halfway. You're going to half-ass. Like, no. The first step is you got to snap. There must be a snap. And so I believe we can initiate our own snaps. And maybe this episode is a snap for you. If you need one, I hope it is. So first comes the snap. And so I guarantee you, when you look back on your life, because your life is a class, when you look back on your life for things that you actually changed, there is a snapping point. There's a snapping point. Okay, snap. First we snap, then we crackle, then we crackle. So the crackle is, okay, I snapped into action. Now I'm crackling. Now I'm taking consistent action. And it's like when you're bringing water up to a boil, right? Okay, so when you snap, you turn the heat up, and the water's on, and you actually turn the heat up. And the crackle is the heat stays on, and the bubbles start, and the water starts to heat up, and then the bubbles come, and before you know it, you're boiling. But the crackle is the momentum. It's the focus. It's bringing it to a boil. It's the daily moves. It's you're crackling. You're on fire. You're doing this. You're doing that. You're doing this. You're gathering data. Like, you are taking action. You are in the game of doing it. You are in the arena. Like, before the snap, you're sitting in the bleachers watching people play the game. All right. Once you snap, you are in the game. And the crackle is, snap is you jump out of your seat in the bleachers and you get on the field. Crackle is you're playing that game on the field. You are playing the game. You're falling down. You're getting your face muddy. You are creating wins. You're celebrating goals. You find your teammates. You are in the game. But crackle is all about, you're crackling. You're crackling. It's momentum and focus and bringing it through. This is the longest part of the circle of conscious change. It takes the most discipline. It takes the most fortitude. It takes the most unconditional courage and unconditional commitment to the spiritual path. Because, before you snap, you don't even know what the game might be. And then once you get in crackle, you find out what the game is and you master the game and you stay on it. Okay. A lot of people quit during crackle and they don't complete the circle of conscious change. But the thing about that is the snap never goes away. The snap never goes away. So the snap is etched into your soul. And so if you quit during crackle and you don't maintain the focus and the momentum and the daily moves and the embodiments that you know will create change when you do it long enough and gain enough mastery, that is why people don't trust themselves. That is why people don't respect themselves. I would go as far to say that is why people don't love themselves a lot of the time. Because if you have an inner snap and then you don't honor it, that's the definition of not loving yourself, because you're not honoring the truth of your soul, of your heart, of your spirit. And so the crackle, like things crack. Things crack, but it's really this, you're in the game, you're playing the game, you're maintaining your momentum. It's not about having the answers. It's about, I'm in the game and I'm committed no matter what. I'm in the circle of conscious change. Okay. So you're crackling, you're moving, one of my teachers, she's always like, keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Like, keep the energy moving. Like, the thing about crackle is like, you don't want things to get stagnant. And if they do get stagnant, interrupt it and keep going. Okay. So it's all about bringing it to a boil. This is also, you can compare it to the process of manifestation, right? Like the snap is like, you have the awareness, you plant the seed. The crackle is you're tending to the seed. You are feeding it. You are nourishing it. You are giving it sunlight. You're loving it. You are tending it to like it's an alive being, because it is. Okay. And then the last part of the circle of conscious change is the pop. This is when shit pops off. This is when the manifestation arrives and you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? Like, it's like a bunch of stuff just keeps happening. You're popping off. It's like, okay, this is happening and this is happening and this is happening. And this person emailed me and I got this job offer. And oh my God, this hot person asked me out. And then, I got this free, I went to a waterfall the other day and I pulled in and they were like, do you want this free poke bowl? And on my drive there, I was like, I kind of want a snack. And then literally they hand me this organic poke. And I'm like, okay, that was like an example of a pop. It's like, wow, like you've been in the quantum doing your thing. And so it's manifesting, it's blooming, it's popping off. So let's say your snap was like, we'll use health for an example. Health is an easy one that I feel like a lot of people can relate to. So you have a snap moment where you're like, enough's enough. My health is taking the front seat of my life. Okay. So you snap and then you're in the crackle. You're like, you're drinking water, you're eating healthy food, you're working out every day. Like, you are in it, you are in momentum, you are focused, you're not letting up the gas, you're in sustainability. And you're crackling, and then you start to pop. And what might the pop be? The pop's like, you look in the mirror and you're like, damn, I look fine as hell. It might be you look at a picture of yourself at a party and you're like, I am hot. Look at me. You might get on the scale and be like, wow, I met my goal. I lost 20 pounds or whatever your goal may be. It might be you go to the doctor and you get blood work done and it's like a huge change, right? You're popping. All right. And so, this can happen with money. This can happen with, business, with relationships, with literally everything. But it all comes down to the snap, crackle, pop. So when you take this to your life, and by the way, once you pop in, you keep popping, and then you have another snap, because that's the game of growth. That's a life of growth, of intentional growth. Because here's the thing, our natural state as human beings is to grow, is to create, is to expand, is to self-actualize. Like that's the whole point of life. And that's like our deepest purpose and the core of the human spirit that I believe has gotten really lost, is like, we're supposed to rise through challenge. We're designed that way. We're wired that way. So I think a lot of people are unhappy because they're not consciously seeking challenge in their life. So, you pop in, and then it's like, oh shit, I just had another snap. Here we go. And do you see how it's a circle of conscious change? And so this gets to be super tactical, super tangible, and I want you to take this and run with this in your life. So first, find a case study from your own life where you created conscious, lasting change. So this is not like half-ass change. This is not like, oh, I did it for a month and then I fell off. This is like, no, I want you to find things in your life that you actually changed, like for good. Okay. And I want you to see how this framework applied in that situation, because I guarantee it does in some way. What was the snap? What was the crackle? And then when were you popping? What was the pop? Okay. And then take that, and I want you to apply it to a current challenge you're going through, a current goal you're working on, something in your life where you're just something that you want to change. Because remember, it's conscious change, and apply it. Have you snapped yet? Every time I say snap, I could hear my Michigan accent. I can hear it so strong. Shout out to all my Michiganders that listen. Shout out to the Midwest. Shout out to Chicago. You'd be amazed at how many different people here on Maui, they're like, where are you from? They just can't place my accent they just can't place it. And I'm like, I'm a Michigander that spent a decade in Chicago. That's what it is. People think I'm Canadian, which Michigan is basically Canada. So I digress. Have you snapped yet in your current challenge, in your current change? Have you snapped yet? Are you crackling or are you popping? So this is the circle of conscious change, and this is what I want you to take and run with in your life. Okay. So go find a case study from your own life, which is a class for you to study, where you successfully did this in creating lasting change. And then I want you to apply it to at least one thing you're currently working with in your life that's given you, grief, that's given you challenge, that's putting up a fight. Because I believe that all of our challenges chose us because we can handle it, and they are designed to carve you into the person you came here to be, to hold your greatest potential. All right. And so you got to choose it back. All right. And so this is a framework to guide you in that. All right. So the circle of conscious change, it's all about that snap, crackle, pop, baby. Okay. Dear one, divine one. All right. This is this transmission. I would love to hear from you of what landed the most deeply for you from this episode. So drop in the show notes, write a review if this changed your life, if this added to your day. Tag me in your Instagram stories. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was, or, simply, I was trying to think of the other ways you can tell me, but yeah, that's how. That's how. And if you want to go deeper into this work with me as your guide, Like, this is just the tip of the iceberg of how I help my clients. So as your guide, I can help you live your potential through this and more, like amazing ways that I support my clients. So a couple ways you can do this with me coming up. So you can join my membership, New Earth Temple. This is $99 a month. We meet every new moon and full moon, and we do quantum manifesting cellularly through breath work with the astrology. So this is a way for you to just be in deeper relationship with me as your guide and have a community of other leaders. So another thing coming up that's coming up in February is homecoming. And this is a 3-month transformation that my sister Julia Phoenix and I are stewarding. It's based in the divine feminine energetic, and it's a web of women who are here to claim their divine assignment through deep connection to this, more ancient, potent octave of the feminine. So if you want information on that, the link to that is in the show notes. I will be providing frameworks like you wouldn't believe to that container. It's kind of like a mastermind, but not. It's just its whole own thing. So if you're interested in that, go to the link in the show notes. And finally, I have spaces open for one-on-one mentorship. And so this is for you if you want me as your personal guide, your personal healer, your personal breathwork facilitator, your personal astrologer, your personal systems expert, like all of these things. Apply for one-on-one mentorship. All right. So those are the invitations: New Earth Temple membership, homecoming for the web of women, and one-on-one mentorship. All right, my loves, go out there and live a life of the circle of conscious change. I want you to live this circle. I want you to be this circle. That snap, crackle, pop, baby, because yes, it's serious. And yes, there's a lot on the line in terms of New Earth. We also get to have fun. We also get to have play. We also get to have delight. And what's more delightful than snap, crackle, pop? It's so fun to say. And guess what? It'll change your life too. And not by accident, on purpose. And that's when you can quantum leap and repeat. So go out there, apply this circle. Let me know what landed for you. Go be the light, be the change. Go make a stranger smile. Because that's what we do here. We charge the field with magic and joy and happiness to souls we don't even know. You have no idea what kind of ripple that can make. Be the light, be the change, be the real you. I love you so much. I believe in you. And I will see you next time on A Better World with Adrienne.